So, I hate to break the news, but the 2023 NBA draft is kind of just a two-man race. There's really only two options going number one and number two, and for a lot of people, the number one and the number two are already set. So, I wanted to just ask, are they really? Is there no chance that Victor Webanyama doesn't go number one? This 7'4" phenomenon that we've been talking about for what feels like 10 years. Is it set in stone that he's going number one? Personally, I don't think so. I think Scoot Henderson, who is the unanimous number two right now, has a chance. He has a chance to be the number one overall pick. Why? Well, for those of you who don't know, October 4th, which the day I'm recording this is in 2 days, but the day that you're seeing this, if you're seeing this on the day that it comes out, will be the day after. I plan on this coming out October 3rd. October 4th, I believe Scoot Henderson is playing Victor Wembanyama in what is one of the most anticipated matches of 2022. The number one and the number two overall pick are going up against each other. But is there no way that Scoot Henderson could be the unanimous or even considered the number one overall pick? I don't know. For years, it seems like there's at least been a conversation between number one and two. Even Zion, who was considered to be pretty unanimous for Zion, I was someone who said John Morant should have gone number one. And that was a unpopular, but there were some people that had that claim or had that take. There were some people. I was one of the few. But it seems like this year, no one is saying that. It seems like it's only Victor Wembanyama going number one. So, why is that? Right, Victor Wembanyama, 7'4", probably even 7'5", moves. Dude, a guy that's that tall should not be able to move like that. He is super fluid, jump shots, blocking shots. He's pretty well developed in his body. Still super scrawny, kind of like me. But he's established in his body. It doesn't feel like you're watching a baby horse move around out there like some people, right? But Scoot Henderson, right? Scoot Henderson is one of the fastest, shiftiest, and just all around most NBA ready guards that we've seen in a long time. If Scoot Henderson was able to be in this draft class after playing the G League Ignite last year, if he was in the 2022 NBA draft, he goes number one overall. Like, pretty undisputed, in my opinion. He goes over Paolo. He's like 17, 18 years old, and he'd be going number one. That's just how talented he is. That also shows you how talented Victor Wembanyama is. So, what are the drawbacks of Victor Wembanyama? When you initially look at him, he's perfect, right? He can shoot, he can score, he can dribble, he can take you off the mid-range. He can play defense. He can play perimeter defense. He can play inside defense. When you talk about it like that, it seems pretty perfect. Well, he's like 7'4", 220. He's skinny. He's a skinny little guy. So that has injuries written all over him. Injuries are written all over Victor Wembanyama, right? In 5 years, he could be out of the league simply because of injuries. Now, I don't want to sit here and project injuries onto someone because A, that's terrible, and B, that's impossible to do. But you have to look at it realistically, right? Players over 7 foot tall get hurt all the time. And those players usually don't have the kind of skill set and don't do the kind of things Victor Wembanyama does. Victor Wembanyama, if he was 6 foot, would be putting himself at injury, but he's like 7'5", doing what a guard does. I think Scoot Henderson is a super viable number one option, and I'm super interested to see what they do tomorrow against one another to see if one of them really stands out. I'll be watching, right? Yeah, I'll be watching. I don't have anything going on. If Victor Webanyama sustains an injury this year, even like a small one, I wonder if that hurts his draft stock. Or if a team is so intrigued by what Victor Wembanyama is and what he can be if he takes him number one. Now, if I am going to sit here and I'm going to project that in, like June when the draft is, I think Victor Wembanyama goes number one no matter what for one reason. It is the pick that he is a high reward, low risk pick. And now I know you're wondering why is he low risk if he's hurt? Isn't that just like super high risk? No. Let me tell you. It's a low risk pick for the GM. If the GM selects him, nobody is going to bat an eye as, are we sure that's the right pick? Because everyone in that situation would have taken him, right? Even if he's out of the league in 4 years because of injuries, no one is going to look back and be like, I can't believe they made that pick, because everyone would have made that pick, right? Now, if they take a surprising player like an Amin Thompson, if Amin Thompson goes number one, that'd be a surprise, right? It wouldn't be what we think was happen. And if he's out of the league in 4 years because of injuries, then you're like, wow, that's super controversial, and it didn't turn out. So that GM is under hot water. But that's not the case with Victor Wembanyama, which is why I don't see Scoot Henderson going number one. Now, I think he could go number one talent-wise, but solely off of the hype behind Victor Wembanyama. If this season goes good for Victor, there's no chance he doesn't go number one. There's no chance. Just because of the hype and the best player since LeBron that's been attacked to Victor. People projecting that he could be a top 10 player in the league if he stays healthy, myself included. He could be a top 10 player of all time if he stays healthy. Now, it really sucks that Chet Holmgren got hurt this year, because while the frame isn't exactly the same, they're very similar. And the biggest thing about Chet is his weight. The biggest thing about Victor is his weight. Now, Chet was killing it in Summer League before he got hurt. So next year, we get to see Chet and Victor together. Well, not together, on the same team. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, if the Thunder get Chet and Victor. Oh, that would be sick. That'd be so cool. Anyway, if Chet played, we would have a better idea of how Victor Wembanyama's body type would hold up. But he's not. So, I raised the question. If you were a GM, right? Would you take Victor number one if the draft was today, knowing the risk of injury? I would say yes. So, while I think Scoot has potential and the skill to be the best player in this draft, I think Victor Wembanyama goes number one, no matter what, really. Unless something terrible happens, knock on wood, he goes number one. But you know, someone else who was tall and lanky, showed a lot of skill, but got hurt the year before he was supposed to get drafted? Bol Bol, who is next week's video. So, tune in if you want to see me talk about Bol Bol and his last year in the NBA. Thank you for watching. It's been Empty Stats, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. It's been Empty Stats, and I'll see you next time.